If you want to get into speculative trading, I think the most important thing is to do it with money that you're actually comfortable losing. And what I mean by that, nobody wants to lose money, but I think that you have to recognise that you shouldn't compromise your daily lifestyle. You shouldn't compromise your family. You shouldn't compromise essentials. So always trade with what I would call spare money. I think that's very important. It's important not to get into dramatically over-leveraged conditions. Now, to some degree, the companies that you will deal with will monitor that themselves, and they will ensure that you're not out of your comfort zone. But you also there has to be an element of self-monitoring. Keep the panic button out of reach. You don't want to be trading in a panic or a blind panic and having to react simply because losses are mounting. You need to be able to keep yourself somewhat detached and a little bit away from it. If you're pressing the panic button, your positions are too big. So that might be the second thing to remember. Try not to panic, and to avoid that, try and keep the positions well within your comfort zone so that you're thinking clearly. When my positions have been too big and markets have become too volatile, I don't think clearly. You know, that's a lesson that I've learned, and I think many others have over the years. Don't take yourself too seriously. And what I mean by that is, don't let it get to you if you make bad decisions. I don't know whether he said this tongue-in-cheek, but George Soros commented that he is correct 40% of the time. Now, George Soros is a well-known international investor, and he may have one or two advantages that others don't, but his frank admission was that he was tacitly saying it, I say, slightly tongue-in-cheek, that he's not that bright. He clearly is very bright. But his point was, when you're wrong, try and see the exit door sooner rather than later. Recognise when something is not working, it's not panning out in the way that you were expecting. And in that sense, you perhaps need, at the point of entry of a trade, to have a reasonably clear idea of what it is that will determine whether you are wrong. Now, that could be events, it could be technical levels being breached. And if these things happen, don't be stubborn, walk away from it. You have to have the ability to bounce back. You have to have the ability to accept that you're going to make a lot of bad decisions, and recognise that that's part of it, and not become too deterred, and not become too upset and emotional when things go wrong. Nobody likes losing money, but you have to rise above it. Know what sort of person you are. Everybody has, and I am quoting from a Market Wizard's book, I would love that this be my own original quote, but everybody does have their own holy grail in the trading world. We have our own personalities and we have our own way of doing things, and recognise that you need to find time to find out what that is. We're not all the same, we don't all look at the world in the same way, and it's all very well and good talking to other people and listening to what they're doing and trying to take that on board, but don't necessarily take these things as gospel. Learn to filter and approach things in your own style. Develop your own style and give yourself a bit of time to do it.